Hello, welcome, welcome. Thank you, Jessica Lockhart, for joining me today. We just wanted to get on here real quick with you all, whoever is watching. And if you're catching the replay, just type in replay so with that we know that you were able to join in with us later. We are just going to talk today about what Radiant Leadership Academy is and how you can get in on really an inside-out transformation on your business, your life, your marriage, your finances, your parenthood, really all the things, and then kind of where we started and how we got to this point. So I'm Amber Felix-Clark. If you haven't been following me for a little bit, I'm a mama of four. I'm also a grandmother of two beautiful, beautiful kids. And I am an ambassador for Grow Power Alliance. So I've taken this Radiant Leadership Academy. This will be my third round with you, Jessica.
Yes.
And I think, Jessica, you're in your fourth round, but also she's going to be teaching our next round of it, and I'll be in her class because I honestly can't get enough of it. I heard somebody reckon it as an artichoke. And at first you get a little bit of the meat of the artichoke. And then when you really start diving into all of the different layers that God's ready to kind of have you open up to and explore, you really start getting to the heart of the fruit that he wants for you to produce. And so with that, I'm happy to welcome Jessica. She is our Radiant Leadership Coach for this next series of 16 weeks. So Jessica, please
All right.
take it over.
All right. Thank you so much, Amber. It is such a breath of fresh air to just be here with you and to be chatting about this because I have just loved getting to know you and your heart to serve and see people grow and become who God says they are.
Mhm.
And and so as Amber said, I am Jessica Lockhart. I am a homeschooling mama to five and one of our Radiant Leadership and Life coaches here at Girl Power Alliance. And I am just thrilled today to be here to just chat a little bit about what Radiant Leadership can do for you, what it has done for us, and hopefully encourage you to just take that leap of faith into the next level of growth for your faith and your relationships and stewardship, all the things that we go over. And so, yeah, let's dive in.
Yeah, so I don't know, I don't even know what your story is really on how you were connected into GPA at first and like kind of what was like the aha moment for you that you're like, oh, well, yeah, I think this is where God's leading me.
Oh man, it was from the very beginning. So I came in because of our good friend Natalie Lawson, and she's the one who introduced me. And honestly, I was not looking for something. When she told me about this, I was kind of in the middle of burnout. I had tried other businesses, I had done other things, as a stay-at-home wife and mom, like it's so nice sometimes to have our own thing too, to kind of pour into, encourage us. And I had tried so many things and it was just leading to more burnout, to more stress in my family's life. And I was honestly on the verge of just giving it all up. And so when Natalie introduced me and I got on that first call, there was literally like, it felt like a little fire got relit inside of me as I was listening to their vision and their mission for what Girl Power Alliance was going to be. And by the end of that call, I remember telling my husband, like, I don't even really understand what this is yet. I just feel like I need to be involved. And, and Amber, like that has been the catalyst for 2 incredible years of growth and of God doing things in my life that I never expected. Like, honestly, when I joined, there was still a part of me that thought, well, this will give me the business skills that I need to actually get my business, my other business I was involved in, off the ground and up and running. So I feel like I'm not just failing all the time. And
Yeah.
God was like, no, that is not going to be your story. Your story is going to be completely new. And so it
Mhm.
has been quite the journey.
So good. so good. I have similar experience. Like that's what I was hoping for also when I joined a couple years ago. I was like, because I do run another business out of my home, and um, although it's good and lucrative, I was just like I was feeling a little flat in my spirit about what I was doing, even though I knew it was good. It just wasn't like you said, there was just like that a little bit of burnout and the spark wasn't there. Um and so my initial thought was, okay, I just need, I just need a restart, and just get kind of re-going on what I was actually doing and why I was doing, why I was doing it. And just to propel my other business in a better way. Which it has GPA has done that, but more so it's been like the community of women that have been in this group for me, like the culture um, has totally changed the narrative of what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and actually a lot of the movement behind what I do is it's just different. It just has a different spirit about it and a different um, almost a different language, you
Yeah.
know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I feel like when you get to a place when your faith is growing and you're more in alignment with, who you are in Christ, like who you are and whose you are. When
Mhm.
you have grown that and you kind of start to understand it on a different level, everything else changes.
100%. Yeah, it does. What I mean, I for me the best experience that I see and the best testimony that I can give for other people that are like, I don't really know if this is for me. I've tried 100 other things. What is so different about this? Um, just the women that uh, have, you know, come through my team, even though we have like this one team culture here, that I have personally been able to see just completely excel in who they are as a woman, as a mother, as a wife, and obviously the financial opportunity, um, that has been the biggest testimony for me because I've seen women that have they just lost their oomph, for everything. And to see that sparkle back in their eyes and I don't know, just the refreshment that um, seeing just the way that they are showing up
Yes.
is so different. And for me that and and I hope that people see that through me, through you. Our transformation over the last couple of years has been just a 180, and my husband even has said, like, and I mentioned this on my last live where you and I were going to get together, but God ordained something
Yep.
different. But I mentioned, my husband even said just shortly after jumping in on this, like, some like it's just something's different about you and it's really nice to see it. So
No, our stories are so similar, Amber. I feel like it was a few months after I joined when I got into my first Radiant Leadership class. And my husband knew at that point that I was hoping to come in here and also have a business. Because he knew that I had some dreams and desires with that. But the thing that made me know that this is where I was more in alignment and it didn't matter is is that he said to me, there you have had so much growth and so much has changed in you, in our family, like you as a wife, you as a mom. He told me, I don't care if you never make a dollar, it is worth it. It is worth it. However long you want to stay in, whatever you do with this, he said, I am happy.
that's amazing. That's incredible. And it's crazy because like the reason that I came in really was to join, forces with other women that are helping to kind of elevate their business, like that they have aside from, possibly this one. If you can make it a business, it doesn't have to be.
Mm-hmm.
Um, But it was like at the time that I realized that this wasn't so much about my business as it was about kind of getting rid of, not really getting rid of the wound, but um, operating out of a healed place instead of from a wound. Um, that's when I realized I needed to do things differently. And then um, when I heard the Radiant Leadership Academy that Michelle was teaching that um, in January of 22 or 23, I can't remember. Um, that's what made the difference for me, is that things that I thought that I had healed from and I was fine and I can run a business and I can run a family and I can run my finances, and I'm really an independent person anyway. Um, but it's not always to our advantage to be completely independent. And so this really helped me um, learn how to lean on and in and with God to propel me into um, really leadership in all aspects of my life. And I'm sure for you too.
Absolutely. And I feel like you just hit the nail on the head, because when we get to a place where we can learn to truly trust the Lord and his plan for us, when we can be in that fully surrendered state, the most amazing thing happens. Because I can be a very type A, independent, and we tend to just do it all on our own. We can
Mm-hmm.
figure it out. But for me, learning to let that go and be surrendered at the feet of Jesus, it is amazing the strength that he builds up in you, the capacity that he brings, because you're no longer doing it in your own strength. We get to operate in the strength of the Holy Spirit, partnered with him. And that changes, like you said, how we show up, how our relationships, how we run our business, because we don't have to do it all anymore. And
Thank
we
you.
let the pieces fall where they need to fall. And God has just been teaching me so much about the results that he has for us when we just get out of our own way and let him do the work. And I think that is why what radiant leadership is so powerful in every woman's life who goes through it. Because we're not asking you to come in here and become this person. We're not asking you to put on these things or do these things to be successful. We're saying, who does God say you are? What does he want to build up in your life? What needs to be healed? I mean, I've had so much healing in my life here. I've seen women come in here who have done therapy for 30 years, and they have received more healing because we're partnering with the Holy Spirit in a different way here. We're inviting him in, asking him, like, where's the lie? Where's the lies we've partnered with? What are the things that we're believing that aren't from you? And we allow him to prune that out of us so that the truth can be grown in. And it changes everything. It's so powerful.
It is. I like to, it's like it brings me to tears to even try to think back to like who I was even a decade ago, to, just the really intentional way that I've worked through this last 10 years, and most specifically, being able to partner here in the last 2 years. I have a hard time even recalling who that person was. And so, for good,
Yeah.
I was a broken, hot mess that didn't trust people at all. Um, and I wasn't willing to open my heart up to anybody, really, because it'd been shattered so many times by, relationships and unmet promises and unfulfilled hopes and dreams. And um, what I came to know was like those things weren't even for me. So why was I hanging on to them? And so learning really what God had for me, um, it was easier to let those things go, to not to replace the life that I had, because I know it brought me to this point, but to operate in a season and a time and a spirit towards the things and better things that he had for me. And Ezekiel 36:26 will always be my scripture, because I had such a heart of stone that I wouldn't let anybody penetrate, not even God, for a while. Um, and uh, and he's opened that door again for me, and really has softened my heart to just receive um, dreams again from him. Like he's given me dreams, you know, of just so many different things, and forever I'll be grateful just to have this place to be able to learn from, but also to serve others from. So
Yes, yes, 100%. I think being here helps you see that bigger picture of the growth is for us, but it's not really about us.
yeah,
It's a much bigger picture. And yeah, no, it's hard not to think back and just want to weep because it is so different now. And he is so good. And I feel like there's strength in community. And I think that's the other thing that makes this work better than other things I've tried or therapy or anything is that we've created this safe place where women can come in with the pain, with the hurt, and allow that to come to the surface and be dealt with. But you're not just left there to deal with it alone. You can be vulnerable. And then there's this community of women that surrounds you, and you get to grow through it together. You get to pray for each other. You get to be like, wow, my story was similar to that too. And I thought I was all alone.
yeah.
You realize that you're not alone and that you never were alone. And God can do so much with that.
It's
And
crazy the connections that you make in here, right? Because you
that's,
like, there are women like just globally that I've been on some of the calls, and they've shared their story, and I'm like, what the heck, are you living in my house right now? Because this is exactly what I'm been going through. And they have this like victory story that they are able to speak from, instead of fight for.
yes,
And so they're coming up and coming through this course um with the redemption of, really, what you said in the beginning, whose you are and who you are, and God's promises over you, and his truth that you're able to walk in. It's not that we're partnering um, with other women in this. I think you're exactly right. This is what makes it different. We're not we're not just taking a Bible study, because this isn't really what it is. It's not another Bible study. It really is a 16-week inside out deep dive transformation on the promises of God in, and we've broken it up into 4 different pillars that people can kind of just take one chunk at a time to, focus on for that first 4 weeks. And so many of the testimonies of women that have taken this have seen like a huge breakthrough within that first 4 weeks, that it's like it makes everything else work better.
it does. And I love how it builds on itself. It builds on the things that the Lord is doing. Like the way I feel like the way it's written and the way it walks you through the pillars is such a God thing because you think you're going in one week like in the wealth pillar when you're dealing about biblical finances and the mindset like there's so many times we get to that pillar and so many people are like well I don't really have a problem with this or like some people it's a big problem and they know right away like I really need this. Other women come in and they're like I don't really need this pillar. I know for myself that's what I thought. And God, it's not it's not really like it is about your money mindset, but it's so much more than that because what if you're living in lack or have an abundance mindset, that colors everything else in your life. And so I love how that pillar takes something that is such a part of our everyday lives
Mm-hmm.
and brings it on that deeper spiritual level and like, this is how it affects this area. This is what it looks like over here. And I just felt like the scales fell off my eyes the first time I went through that class because
Yeah.
it was so different than I was expecting going in, but it was exactly what I needed. And I love that that is almost everybody's story. It doesn't matter what season you're in, what situation you're in, what circumstance you are in. There is something for you here. There is something that God wants to use to build up more truth in your life, heal something that maybe has been broken or maybe has been keeping you stuck. And I don't know who's going to be listening to this later, but I would love to speak to the woman or the man who comes in and thinks, well, this is a leadership course. I'm not a leader, or I don't really have a business. I'm not looking to have a business. I want to encourage you that this is for you too, because I'll tell you right now that whether you are just a stay at home mom, and I don't mean just a stay at home mom, but a lot of times we put that label on ourselves and we think that's all we are anymore.
Yeah.
This is for you because you are leading in your home. You are raising the next generation. You are doing probably the most important job that any of us can ever do. Do it with excellence. Come in, learn how to change your mindset, learn how to steward what God has given you well, learn how to steward the emotions and the mindsets of your children. Because what you do in your home can break chains that have run in your family for generations. And you get to set your children free of those, and they get to go out in the world and do amazing things for the kingdom because of the work you're doing now, because of the way you're leading in your home. And so for the mom that's listening to this, like this is for you. For someone who has a business, maybe you don't want another business. This will change the way you show up in the business that you have. This will change the way you interact with your team. This will change the way you can reach back and bring your team members forward and teach them how to be a leader. I love how this breaks off the chains of ego. It breaks off the chains of unworthiness. It breaks off the chains of lack mindset. So, I mean, there's so many more things. And so I just want to invite you. We have a class starting Wednesday. We'll be on Wednesday mornings. It will be 9 a.m. Pacific time, 12 Eastern time. And so I think for you, you're in Mountain Time, right, Amber? So it's like
Right.
10 o'clock for you. So we would just love to invite you to come and be in that class. And then one other exciting thing I want to share is that the first all men's radiant leadership class is going to start next Monday. So I believe that is May 6th.
That's awesome.
So if there are any guys in this group listening, if there are any men who you're just tired of the ego driven leadership that we see so often in our culture, if you want to know what it means to lead like Jesus, what true biblical masculinity looks like, and how you show up in your home and in your career and your place of business, this is also for you. And so, whether you're a man or a woman, we have something here. And I just hope that you'll come. I hope that you'll come and grow with us and experience that transformation for yourself because it's changed my whole life. It's changed Amber's whole life. And so many more women and men are being transformed.
And you're absolutely right. And yeah, if you've caught this, we're happy to help you, men or women, we can help you navigate how to get plugged in here. Jessica or I will kind of show you the ropes and get you started. And I'll just leave it with this here just because I know that we're running a little short on time, but um, in September of 2022. Um, and this is probably 8 months after I joined GPA, maybe 6 months, I don't know. Shortly after, and I was going through the courses and really, praying about doing the Radiant Leadership Academy. Um, God had given me a vision of, I was actually in church. It was happening while I was there. I was in church and I looked to my left while I was standing in church, and it was as if there was a tidal wave, but it was like air, you know, it was like an air tidal wave. And so I was looking across the congregation and I just see this wave coming over the entire congregation, and they were faceless people. I could, like, even though the people were there, they were like faceless, and I was just watching this tidal wave come, and I just saw it going outside of the church doors. And it really was such a huge confirmation for me that God is doing something new. Um, he's doing something old in a new way. And that, I think our highest calling really is to know God and make him known. And that's why we're partnering. That's the biggest reason why we partner here, is that we really want to have the experience of what spirit led, not spiritual, but spirit led transformation looks like and feels like. And then just pray that other people would just come into that knowledge and experience it for themselves. Because it's like, I was talking to a gal last week, and I was telling her, I said, um, this is different here, because it's like the Bible, right? So like, we're going through different seasons, and we can read the same verse at a different time in our life and it affect us in a totally different way. And it's not a cookie cutter experience here. Even though we're going over information that is the same in the course, that, like I said, this is my third time going through it, because we're just getting to different levels of growth and different levels of depth. But we have to get through that first kind of surface layer to open the rest of it up. And so as he's doing this new work in us, we're able to do it with him to help impact others. And that's the biggest thing. And so he really is birthing something new. He's growing a spirit of change, I think, across the globe for women, because we are the catalyst of change for the next generation. And it starts with us here in our homes, for ourselves, for our kids, for our marriage. And so if we can encourage you with this, just sharing our stories and our experience here, we want you to know that there is something bigger for you, and not just for you, because it's not really about you, but for those people that are in your atmosphere, in your circle, and your future kids, or if you have kids, the next generations that are coming up behind you, because who better to start with than with you? So we just want to welcome you to come through. Even if you have questions, just reach out to either one of us, and we'd be happy to answer whatever questions they are. It is a membership. There's ways to get it paid for, lots of different scenarios to go through. But the main thing is, if this is pricking your heart at all, and just you feel that little bit of a nudge, just reach out to us and we will get you going in the right direction. Yeah.
Can't wait to grow with you. It's going to be it's such a good time. Like, I've also just never had so much fun being with a community of women before, and speaking about the things that the Spirit's doing in our lives and what the Lord's doing. And it truly is unlike anything I've been a part of. So I hope you will come in. I hope you will come grow with us.
Yes, May 1st. May 1st is our first
May
meeting.
1st.
And Jessica, I really am so inspired by you, and just really have loved seeing your growth and your heart just pouring out to others, because I know it's been poured into you first. And so for you to turn that back around and give out of that space is just like such a blessing for so many, not just for me, but so I'm excited to take this next course with you, if I can see you through my tears. And it starts May 1st. If you're not able to jump in right away, we got backup plans. So we'd love to have
Absolutely.
you. Hope you guys all have a really great week. Like I said, Wednesday, May 1st, is our first day. Jessica,
Sweet.
thank you so much. I'm
Oh,
super looking forward to seeing you Wednesday morning.
oh, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait. Thank you, Amber, for inviting me
Oh,
today. This was incredible.
thank you. I appreciate you so much, and God bless you guys.
Bye.